Hi, I'm Heinbach, and it's good to have you back to another album live stream. This time it's about my new record, Heinbach and Ensemble Recherche, and it's called Retold. And as you can see, for the very first time, it's also a stream on CD, and we've got cassette too. So I've got two players here. One that I got ages ago, a little Tascam, and my trusty old Sony, which sadly has been acting up right before the stream. There appears to be some sort of grounding issue. It sometimes appears, it sometimes doesn't. Let's hope dear Sony behaves himself today. But yeah, this album is out just now, and I wanted to do this live stream much earlier, but shipping is horrible right now in Berlin, and it just took a week for me to get this to me, so I had to move this live stream. So if you wanted to watch it on Sunday and then on Monday, I'm sorry, but yeah, I wanted to hear it from the medium, and this is it, therefore the medium needs to be here. That's kind of the good and the bad thing about owning something physically. Hi Isomatic, hi Dave, nice that you're all here. So I think I'm gonna put this record on right now, and we start with the cassette. And for the second spin, I'll have a special guest who comes in, yeah, right after this is finished, and then we'll talk more about the record. And as usual, you can ask any questions you want in the chat, and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. So, let the tape gods be with us. Please don't hum. It was really nasty. It was like the full right channel was blowing like and absolutely new thing. So let's hope it won't do this time. One thing to note, the cassette is sadly already sold out. So the only way you'll be able to get a cassette now is at my live shows. I'll bring, I think I have like 15 or 20 of these that I'll sell at live shows. But there's still 9 CDs left on Bandcamp. And I should have set up a Bandcamp banner below. But yeah, Jogging House of Psy Records is also in the chat. So he can put the link up. And yeah, so but now let's see if it works. Ah, there it is. Hum. Oh no. I wonder what I did to fix it, because it stopped. Oh, here, oh. Do I have to hold it like this now? Ah. I wanted this to be a relaxed thing. Oh my god. But it's good if things don't work for a bit, and then they start to work. Give me a second. I'll figure this out. In the meantime, talk amongst yourself. As you can see, this is very much live. And if you're watching this later recorded, you can see me struggle. Why would you do this to me? Where's the ground? Where's that ground hum coming from? Here. Is it the position of the tape? It's not the cassette. I tried two different ones, and that's not it. And it went away. Ah, it's going away. Is it going away? Okay. Shall I try to fix this 1 minute, or should we skip to the CD? Let me know, please, immediately. Ground. Yeah, that's a Matthew. She has a new Chase Bliss pedal idea. Ground, hum, and crackle. Yeah. Oh my. Right now. I'm sweating. Come on. I just want to play some calm music. Oh, it's gone. No. Oh. It's weirdly positional. Huh? Okay. I think I just need to hold it like this now. This is my life now. I feel like this is like reminds me of my kids, like when they were really small, and especially the oldest one, when I carried her to bed, and then she fell asleep like right here on me. And every time I then tried to move away, she would go like, and I would have to return and lie still again. So as a father, this is an experience that I'm used to. Okay. Yeah, jogging house, it's fine. This is okay. This is just shows this is dedication. How are the levels for you guys? Is my voice okay and the music? Shall I pump up the music for just 1 second? I'll do that for 1 second. Chris, maybe you could rest it on a music stand. I don't have one right here next to me. I can try to put it down now. This is exactly like having a kid trying to take a baby to bed. Oof. So I can hang with people later. Okay. Music down for a bit. Okay, this is the title track, or not the title track, but this is, it carries the Retold name. And this was originally a piece called Home Stories, which are also released on Psy Records. And together with the Ensemble Recherche, we reworked it into this new piece that echoes like 1960s minimal music. And I really love how everything comes together, how the piano interlocks with the marimba, the strings play up top, and then you can hear the tape loops like pulsating above everything. It's, yeah, and then, and the winds like doing their staccato movements. I really love this track. I mean, this was actually the last piece of the show that this came from. That was the ending piece, but we put it up front for the album. And this is not as it was live recorded, because this is from a different session in the rehearsal space, and we mixed that completely new here in the studio. But basically, it is performed live, so but in one take. So, which goes to show the amazing skill of the Ensemble Recherche. Thank you all for being here with me in this very unexpectedly tense live stream. I'm just waiting for this to go again like burp, but very weird problem. Okay. Second piece, Parallels, which is also, I think that's one of the few things that's available on streaming right now. So the first track that you heard is available on streaming, and Parallels also. But for now, everything is on Bandcamp. Yeah, still a few CDs, a handful, and the digital is there. So as usual, we like to give Bandcamp, time, and because it's still, after all these years, the best platform for independent music. Again, I released this with Psy Records, Jogging House is in the chat, and I'm gonna pay attention to you in the chat now that the tape recorder is being nice. Let's up this for a second. You can hear Klaus Steffen Holländer on the piano, and he's playing exactly what the tape loop is playing, which is not the easiest thing because it's not cut exactly. So he has to like shift after every pass a bit. Well, that creates a slightly too short rhythm under everything, but that's super interesting, I find. Dominic Hinnon, every piece in your studio is a potential experiment. So is also the tape deck. Yes, you're right. I usually like to keep the experiments like where I can edit them later. So when I'm on camera, so you don't have to suffer through like all the hours upon hours that I sometimes spend fixing something. But I think for this time it was fine. Oof. Thank you, Zudos Den. Ordered because CD, concrete music. I mean, we haven't made a CD ever, I think, on Seil together, and I haven't made a CD in ages, but for something like this, it's a great format. Though I have to say, the quality of the cassette is amazing. Like, this sounds really, really good. I hadn't expected that at all. So, I mean, the player is nice if it works, but the recording on, it's just normal Faro style cassette, but it sounds very, very good. And the noise that you're hearing probably from my Majetster in this channel, that's probably something that's related to the hum. Something's going wrong with this Sony. Only 5 CDs? Whoa, okay. Second edition, I don't know if Seil will make a second cassette edition. I will have to ask Boris in the chat about that. But yeah, this cassette sold it actually pretty fast. And I think we went up to top 4, or was it top 3 on best selling on Bandcamp for a day. And it's still up in the top 6, I think, which is pretty good considering now who, like, all the bands that are on Bandcamp now, all the major bands. So oh, top 3, okay. Yeah, things aren't as easy as they used to be in terms of shipping things. So especially vinyl has gotten very expensive to ship. So if you don't have like a big distro network already in place, it's very hard to sell direct vinyl. It's more than the vinyl itself, which is a deal breaker for many, as it, for including me, because I think sometimes if I buy a 25 euro record and I pay 30 in shipping, it's hard. I mean, you can buy bulks and they don't get much more expensive, but yeah, it's just hard. It's a lot of money, and yeah. So, cassette and CD, luckily, still kinda decent to ship. Oh, this piece. Oh, this is so quiet. It starts so nice and quiet. This is Weightless Departure. All these tracks are based on pieces that I wrote while I was in my old family home in the Black Forest, and I set up my electronic stuff. You might have seen some overhead videos on the very same table where I used to do my homework, and I recorded that. And the whole record is basically a big goodbye to that place and to that time, because the house is now sold. My mother, who used to live there, is now in Munich with my sister, so there's no home for me in the Black Forest anymore, except I have friends there, and this record with the ensemble felt like coming home again, and the performance that we played, and I hope we can do something like that in the future again, because I would love to return to the Black Forest and play music there and have something to do. Thank you, DVD London. Carlo Mustonen, can I get the cassette from any Berlin brick and mortar store? I don't think so, but Boris, is there any stores that carry the CD? Thiago Lenoir, you're a major inspiration. Started my own test equipment setup. Oh, dangerous. Because I made an internship at Sonoskopia and bit the bug. Oh, the bug bit. Ah, incredible stuff. Yeah, at Sonoskopia. Oh my god. Then you played a lot with my old stuff. Beautiful. Beautiful. Just be careful. I just managed to trash the instrument input on my very expensive Fireface UFX2 using a Brinquier filter. So be very, very careful. Yeah, sorry to hear that, Leandro. It used to be easier to ship. Last CD? Okay. Let me know who grabs it. Yes, you can get them at Heinbach shows. My next show in Berlin, I've got 2 in Berlin. I think 1 is announced, should be even under this video. I need to turn the volume down, just a slight bit. It's nice how it builds up here. So that will be at Musikinstrumentenmuseum, where we're playing some 1950s stuff and talking about like making music with like test equipment, tape, and very obsolete, very, very strange instruments. So I'll have cassettes and CDs and some vinyl there too. No vinyl of this record though. There doesn't exist one. Do you believe the Black Forest has a specific vibe, like Nordic ambient, or does each musician bring their own style? Ooh, I don't know if there's such a thing like Black Forest ambient. I mean, and I basically made it mostly when I was there as a guest, so it's kind of like re-imported. But I take a lot of joy in the nature there, so having grown up there, and it calms me. So it's more about home than even the area, though the area is absolutely beautiful and stunning. And that's something I definitely miss here in Berlin. There's no mountains around, so everything around is flat. Ah, thank you, Matthew. Yeah. Oh, nice to hear that it was in KEXP. Yes, I do get radio play, like usually on all kinds of shows, but it's never like what you say, like heavy rotation. Sometimes things are like on BBC 4. There they come a bunch of times, especially my music. But Ach Kosmos has seen a bit of radio play, so yeah. But it's mostly like smaller niche shows that play my music. I have a rule: blues, jazz, any bassy music, vinyl, academic, classical music, CD, and cassettes are always a good idea. I think, yeah, I mean, CDs were made for classical music. That's why they have that length of 74 minutes max, and I think it's a perfect medium for that. And that's why we thought, hey, let's do a CD. And I have to say, one thing that's nice about them is I can carry these easily in my luggage. Like with the vinyl, I can take like 10, 12, maybe 15 vinyl with me, and then my luggage is full and I have to carry a lot of stuff with me. That gets very heavy when I go on tour with all the gear. This and this, I can bring a bunch. So yeah, it's a nice way to have a physical recording, but we're gonna listen to it in a bit. And It's also nice to own the music and not just have it on stream where it might be taken down, might go away, or yeah. Some water. Let's listen a bit. Oh, this is good. This track is called So We Found Serenity. It's probably one of my favorites, and you can see a bit of how it was made in the last video I put up on YouTube, where you can see where all the crackling sounds are coming from. Part of it is the Seattle and Coco Quantos, but a lot of it is Christian Dierstein bowing shoeboxes, and that sounds really, really cool. Andy Lauscher, the Black Forest, would be delighted if you would return to play some textures now and then. Yeah, I would be delighted too. If you ever release CDs of the test equipment releases, give us a heads up. Cheers and happy sounds. We'll definitely do that if I do. Not planned, and those are like sold out forever on Discogs, but never say never. Maybe like an edition. We'll see. New York City loves Heinbach. That's lovely to hear. Yeah, that's what I would love to play, but it's so expensive, and it takes so long, and it's not getting easier. So I've never actually come over to play. I accidentally played the Voice Magnetic on my Portal Studio with all 4 tracks at once, and it was glorious. Oh, I can imagine. That must have been quite the mashup. Would you say your music is classical music? I've listened to and I studied classical music, at least in my musicology classes, since I was, since forever. So there's always an element of that, even in my music, in terms of instrumentation. That's how I think. I think in classical instrumentation when I even make synthesizer parts, texture parts. All of these have analogs in classical instrumentation. So there is that element to it. And with this record, it's probably the furthest in that direction since some theater scores that I made, where I worked with orchestra. But I wouldn't call it, I don't know if I would call it classical or neoclassical or Neue Musik. It's very much just the things that I enjoy and like. And so it's a mix. That's my cop out right now. Thank you, Cloudface. Thank you very much for that. This is very much appreciated. Hi, Red Walks. Maybe not classical, but surely close to academic. Yeah, maybe, even though I never went to an academy myself. But, there's the term Neue Musik, which is also I think it's a pretty stupid term because it just means new music, which is very, very strange to say. Oh, what do you make? Neue Musik. I make new music. Okay, what does that mean? So there's a lot of ways that how things are named are weird in that regard. Contemporary classical is another thing that... Oh! Okay, thanks for reminding me that this is over. Okay, so favorite gesture. Flip it out. go to side B and play. Oh! Hum? Oh, no hum. Hum? No hum. Ah, intentional hum. That's a deep drone that I started on a Seat Lombard instrument, and all the players take up on. So there's a mood switch on side B. That's one of my favorite things, like when side B starts completely different to side A. It's like, oh, which side do you want to hear? I really love that, doing things like that, like when I played, when I had friends over and played them records. And like, oh, what kind of trip do you want to go on now? And that's especially cool when you have like a Godspeed You Emperor record where like one side is like basically a quarter of the record. So yeah, you can decide what vibe you want to get with the same record. Yeah. This track is called Our Shared Fears. And this was actually the opening of the show, if I remember correctly. Oh, Jamie Liddell in the house. Good evening. What was the process of building these tracks? How were the melodic parts written for the players? So I came to the ensemble with my ideas, and my ideas were tape loops. I think it was 6 or 7 that I had made, and these were all pieces that I had made over the years in the town nearby, the small town nearby, in my old family home. And then I told them, come on, this is the basis, and then we started playing. And basically the ensemble wrote the parts themselves based on the harmonic structure of the tape loops. So it's something that I basically started out by sitting alone on the table, became this collective composition, which worked out incredibly well. I think it was absolutely wonderful. You seem to collaborate often with other musicians. Can you talk a bit about finding fellow artists and forming working relationships? With ensembles, it's either the players or the management that reaches out to me and says, hey, do you want to try something? And that's the best thing. Like, I said, yes, cool, let's try something. And sometimes it's just talking to people, meeting people. I've got another record that's coming out in September, and there it was literally on the basketball court right next to here, where Simon Spies, saxophonist, came up and said, bist du der Heinbach? I'm wrong accent. He's from Swiss. I did like a Badisch accent, but no. And then we talked a bit through some hoops, and then I said, hey, do you want to play? Do you want to play tonight? I've got an idea for something. And then he came by, and simple as that, we started playing. And oftentimes things come like that. Like in Berlin, it's very easy to get accidentally also into sessions. Oh, I need to shut up for a second because this part is nice. Oof. Oh. It's like tumbling over itself. Oh. All synth in this piece? No, this is just one synthesizer, the Quadrax, and the rest is all played by the ensemble. But we're all trying in this to mimic basically what I was playing and build upon that. And now you can hear, this is percussion. This is a giant, how you call this? The thing that bounces? Spring, a giant spring on a big pauke being played, and that resonates this beautifully and creates this metal atmosphere that just fades out the track, or like fades out over the track. I really like this melange. But this is like, if we had opened the album with that, it would have set very different expectations. So I like to put happy parts at the openings of records and darker parts for live. Start with darker parts live. So basically with live, the whole thing was like going from dark to bright, and or like more like ups and downs. And with the album, it starts bright and open, and then goes darker and darker. Comes up a bit, but never comes completely back to the light. Different journeys, I find. Different journeys. Thank you, Neil. Thank you, Alex Art. What am I drinking? Just bought this from a small wine shop around. This is a French rosé. It's called Clapotis. And I'm trying this for the first time. It's from the domain of Petit Ruby. So, yeah. Has a nice cover with little fish. I don't know if you can see that, probably too sparkly. But, yeah, that's very fresh. This piece originally was called Cold State, and here it's The Cold Settles In. And here we can hear the ensemble sing. And that was magical when they suggested that. It has... feeling to shut up for this. Yes, exactly. The recent video about percussion, this is this ensemble. Cheers. I'm also doing something with my mouth in this piece in a bit, which was very scary, especially live. You'll hear it. We recorded this live with close mics, and I think there were room mics, which I probably ignored in the end, because the room was not that great sounding. And then Lucas Novak came by, the sound designer, or like Klangregie, and we mixed it here in my studio together. And it didn't require a lot, it already sounded very, very good. In parts, we added some things. And that's me. Yeah, Lucas is amazing. Lucas is a fantastic engineer and fantastic, also creative Klangregisseur. This was hard to mix. You're hearing big aluminum strips suspended over the stage, being hit by Christian Dierstein, and this is absolutely piercing. It was crazy in the room, and mixing this was impossible. I thought we couldn't put this on the record, but then we added this soft drone from tape that you're hearing, and that grounds those sharp metal sounds. Ah, but the tape does a lot to, like, right now make it very soft. Landfill totems apart, your compositions are titled in English. Are your musical thoughts expressed internally in English, or do you translate to English at the end of the creative process? Half-half. It depends on what the project is, and I'm a fan of poetry, and especially English poetry. So many of the songs are actually named after poetry and lines from poetry, because I keep a book of poetry around to basically get titles, and that's why it ends up in English. But here on this, it's all names that appeared to me, and they all are related to the original track names. And this one is called The Glass Cage. That was simply the word equivalent of what I heard when I heard this song. Anyway, to buy or listen to more of this, I love it. So it's on Bandcamp, the whole record. And there's another Ensemble record that's very different from this one, but also wonderful. That's called Primer. You'll find that also on my Bandcamp, and there's vinyl available. Ah yes, with Sam, I'm German and he's English, so I think we play off that. We did a lot of, and I really, in Zwischenzeit, the wonderful thing was me teaching Sam to sing Zwischenzeit. Crystal, Mike. Not a crystal Bechet, it's a unique installation. If you go to my channel and pick the latest video, you'll see what it is and all the percussion used in the process of making this. It's a behind the scenes video, because the percussion is really special in this record. And here, for example, you're hearing bowed lithophones, so stones. No jazz, no relation to the film. It was simply Primer because it was the first time we worked together, so it's meant as the kindling for a longer relationship, a longer working relationship. Cheers, everyone. This is In Vanishing Moonlight, and this is from a track, basically the original loop that you're hearing, like that's one that I recorded in 2017 in the cellar where we used to rehearse as a band in the Black Forest. And there's a whole record album that I put out that was the first record that basically put me on the map, because it came out on Alessandro Cortini's label. Oh, I forgot the name of that. It was a wonderful label. I think they only made a few releases, all wonderful. And I was so happy when this was picked up there and got an audience. It was amazing. That's how many people first started to know me, through that album and where this piece originally comes from. And you can hear especially how the winds react to the already flute-like tones on this track, on the tape loop. This is like sleepwalking to me. So in a bit we'll have a guest from the ensemble, and if you are into playing techniques, you can get a lot of answers from him in a bit. Limited interest, exactly. that's a good, interesting name for a record label, but yeah, it was a limited interest. I think 300 tapes were sold out very quickly. It was a really cool label. I'm really thankful about that. Ted Butler and Alessandro Cartini, that was their label. Beautiful work. Hi Heimbach, it seems you always start from a coincidence created by the machines and acoustics, and then that outcome leads to composition. Do you also start from melody or chords? If I can avoid it, I can. Sometimes I did that in the past a lot, but if I have the luxury of time, I just set up an experiment, and then something inspires me and comes out, and then I can draw a melody from the frequencies that happen and the overtones and all those things. But and that to me is more inspiring than when I sit down and write a few chords or melodies. So I like to have an experiment where things feedback to each other, and just by the shifting, pitching, everything around, on tape, everywhere, feedbacking things, suddenly an idea takes hold, and then I can build upon that. If I have the luxury, I like to work that way, and the other way feels more like doing business. Like, okay, write a song, blah blah blah, just done, bish bash, done. So I can do that, but I prefer the other way. But that's almost moral. That requires a bit of leisure and time, but that's also why I love making the YouTube channel, because there I can do these experiments all the time, and it's rewarded basically. So I just had a wonderful session at Sennheiser where I played with a prototype of their wonderful vocoder, and from that I basically made a song all day today until this stream, and that was cool because from the resonances I heard there, I was able to follow them and create a melody, the counter melody, and the B part, A part, and so on. But I followed the original, like where the sound took me. What's your favorite ambient album of all time? Endless Summer by Fanish. It's on the border of ambient, but it's one of my absolute favorite records. And very close to my heart, that one. Have you ever experienced MIDI through feedback? Yeah, that can get cool. That can get wild. MIDI feedback can be completely wonderful. So, but I haven't really delved too much into it. But a friend of mine, Konstantinos, he does a lot of MIDI to CV in the past at least, and back and forth, and worked with like feedback patches. It was super cool. Oh, final track. This just builds and builds. There must be a special skill as a composer to see the big picture. Do you know the story in advance? So with this, I had an idea when I cut the tape loops, how they could be arranged, and I presented them to the ensemble in a way that we could have changed it all the time, but the way that we played it became how we structured the play. So the initial order I picked became that, and then the cool thing about working in this where the tape loop is playing, then I don't have to play, and I can just focus on what the other players are playing and nudge them in the direction that I think works well and cool. It leaves me exactly room for the big picture, and then I can structure like things around it. And sometimes the ensemble says, oh, now you need to play a solo, and I was like, I don't want to play a solo. I don't play solo. I play solo enough. I want to. And then he said, okay, and you play a duo with Christian, and we did a percussion and electronic like part. And so there's a feedback again there, but I very much think about the big picture in advance and then also during, and I'm in general open for letting things happen. And the story was very much there from the beginning. I wanted this to end, I wanted the live performance to end like, I've made my peace with this. And I wanted the record to start basically where the live show stopped and go backwards because this was a very early piece. I think this was actually the piece that opened the performance, and it's called A New Life Takes Hold. And that's very tentative how the new life takes hold. Like you can hear myself like shaking while I'm playing the keys. So it's very, very tentative. So is the process finished of like letting go of home, or is it like of letting go of your old home? This is so prosaic. Okay. It's different. So now I think, oh, hey, Cloudface. Thanks to all the channel members. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for your support. And, okay, I see here our guest is coming in. So I'll pour myself a drink until he settles in, and then I'll get him in on the show. Cool. So, from Ensemble Recherche, we've got Adam Woodward, the violin player. Hello, Adam.
Hi. Nice to be here.
Where are you right now?
I'm in Baden-Baden in Germany.
In Baden-Baden. Are you there for a show?
Yes, we have a show tomorrow in the Festspielhaus.
Okay, so you were rehearsing today?
Yep. Exactly.
How long are you staying there?
We've been here for about just 2 days. Not
just
long.
2 days?
3 days, yeah.
Okay. And Baden-Baden is not so far from Freiburg?
No, just about an hour. Yeah.
Easy, easy. Wonderful. Thank you for joining. So everybody, this is Adam. He played violin on the record. And yeah, so we're going to give the record a new spin, and I need to repatch because I didn't put a mixer in here. So I need to repatch to the big mixer through the DI. And yeah, so that will be just 1 second. And then we're going to listen to the CD version of our record, which is this one, Retold. I don't know if they're all gone now from the Bandcamp. So I think you can get them. Adam, do you guys have a shop, by the way, on your website where you can buy records?
That's a great question.
Because
we have a lot of CDs that are available for sale as well.
And are they on the online shop? Do you have an online shop on your website? That would be interesting to know, because right now they're sold out on Bandcamp, and I have them here to sell them at shows. But if you had something like that, just occurred to me. So everybody bear with me while I repatch. So I've learned a bit in how to set up the mixer now. I've got an easy DI box here, so I can always just patch stuff in. Good. Only 2 CDs are left. Perfect. 2 CDs. That's good. And the last number always on Bandcamp a bit how they update is not always sure. So sometimes it says there's 1 left, but then there isn't, and there's none left. So good. Okay, so this goes to service because it caused me some stress. I don't know if you followed the stream, Adam.
Yes. Has its own.
It was the exact noise that happened in rehearsal, right?
Exactly. That's right.
But yeah, just wanted to be carried like this. So, but that's not good. So, and this needs to go to service because this is too good to, irreplaceable. They don't make them like this anymore. So, and now I'm happy that I have this around. This is a Tascam CD VT1, which is like a vocal trainer. So you can actually do some creative things with it. And that's why I got it, because you can pitch shift and you can time shift at the same time. And it sounds horrible. And that stuff was on when I tried the record for the first time playing it on here. It was like, what's happening? Everything sounds, it sounds really like, it's really bad. Like it's not smooth as on a CDJ, like the slowing down. It's really like choppy and bad, but that's actually cool. So I need to experiment with this, and I discovered it also has a voice changer. So it's a vocal trainer. So but for now, this will be just normal playback. And okay, turn it on. Good. So if you pitch shifting on a CD, yeah, it has like a key mode where you can shift it up and down, so you can change the speed and then you can change the key, so separately. It's pretty cool. So I think I've got another one for basses, so it has a jack in, but it has a line in, two mic ins. So this is for like a teacher and the student to play. And I bought these 6 years ago because I wanted to do CD experiments, but I haven't used them. But I think now is a good time to start that. But not with this record. I'm just gonna play it. Oh, it says no disc. Yeah, because I don't have a disc. This is like
That'll be on the next.
It's like, what's that guy called? This is it sounds like Europa Park. Europa Park horror show. Okay, so it's spinning up. This one doesn't hum. It's dead quiet. Wonder if that's good or bad. It says reading, and now it plays. I hope. Quack. Here we go. Oh. Cool. That's the sound for Huibu, exactly. Huibu is a German radio play that kids loved, and my kids too. I still got the vinyl over there. So that was the creaky CD door. But you'll only hear it once because there's no changing of sides, which is strange. So even I have to get used to that. That's just going to be 40 continuous minutes with this. Because usually the break is also like a nice whoo, but yeah, I mean, different experiences. So, wonderful. So, if you guys in the chat have any questions about playing techniques and how this whole collaboration was from the perspective of the ensemble, you can ask that to Adam right now. So, because so far you're only getting my voice. So maybe there are dissenting voices inside the ensemble compared to what I said. Or first question, Adam, did I say anything that sounded off or was like, what?
Oh, everything is right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had a great time. It was for us also a really nice process to just come together with you and sort of share ideas. So, yeah.
Yeah, I felt so too. It was like we had 5 rehearsals to make this whole thing together.
Was it only
5 rehearsals? It was 5 rehearsals. I checked because I found no, it's okay. So we had 5 rehearsals and that's it, and that's crazy. I mean,
yeah.
To make all this in 5 rehearsals, and even when we did at the release party 2 weeks ago, we rehearsed together for an hour or something to play the tracks again. And it worked beautifully.
Yeah, even less actually.
Even less? Okay. Yeah. You're right. 45 minutes. Maybe.
Yeah, because we had to set things up as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it changed so much too. Even we were talking about this last week or 2 weeks ago about how even the communication, even with the same tracks that we've already played, has already changed since we played it a year ago.
Yeah, and it's nice how I felt like I think that show is in full on my Patreon, and you can get a little snippet of it in the video that I just posted on Sunday. That is it was the winds weren't there because they had to play so much; they were too tired to play anymore, and so it was less people, but it felt very when you play by how do you say it's by the seat of your pants or something, or you play it's the wrong locked in really okay, we can do this because we know already what to expect from each other. So it was already very open for improvisation, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
How did the collaboration start? Do you want to answer this?
Yeah, well, I believe our manager reached out to you.
And Paul.
Paul, yeah, exactly. And and you said yes, which was the best part. So, um, but the actual working process, I remember you came and set up your tape loops, and then I think we actually did a lot of listening together, right? We listened to the
Yeah.
tape loops. We would
Listen, but
improvise.
immediately go into play. Go into
Exactly.
play.
Yeah.
No.
And even just discussing ideas, what can we do? What is this? What could this sound like? But the second that we started improvising together with you, it was like one idea would unfold, and then later we would listen to it, because I think you recorded everything, all the rehearsals.
Yeah.
Right?
All the
And then
rehearsals,
actually
everything
that was
documented.
great. That was great because it actually gave us a great chance to listen to what we did and then decide what we liked or didn't like, or what we wanted to tweak, or what we wanted to expand. I think that was a really nice process for us too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good if you record everything all the time. You just have, yeah, you can become an editor of yourself. So that's really good, I think, to be able to see yourself from the outside. I mean, that's how this channel started. I was like trying to get good at improvising live, so I put up the camera at 30 minutes. So that helped me a great deal. And I think even for this process, when I then could send like, okay, here's the recording that we did today. Here's the bounce, da da da, and then we could, even if you just like listen to it while you're riding your bicycle or walking like to the rehearsal room, it helps so much. It helps so much to then develop on. So, oh. Ah, that's for you.
Oh yeah.
Adams. Strings are the backbone of so much music. Is it easy to hide, or are you always exposed?
Oh, kind of both. I think in the case of Ensemble Recherche and also working with Heinbach, we were very exposed because we only had 3 string players, one each on violin, viola, and cello. So everything we do is heard and very present. And then I suppose dynamically, then we were able, like in this working process, we would improvise together and then kind of decide what things we wanted to have maybe more presence and other things that we wanted to take out. But for us, I mean, the ensemble is classically trained and coming from that background. So for us going into improvisation, which we've done improvisation before, but it's not as regular, I suppose, in our season. Mm-hmm. That was also, it's kind of a step in a direction of, you have an idea and you have to really commit to it. So you try not to hide, because you have to just embrace the idea that you have, or the idea that someone else has, and then run with it. Yeah. But I think I saw some other comment. We basically were just jamming, and then
just jamming. Yeah.
And
guided jamming.
Exactly. And then sort of discussing what we thought.
But we had a world. So we had that world, and that world was basically like the whole story that I put up about like leaving, loss, and all those things. And then we had the little players, the nuggets of ideas on the tape loops to explore more, and then to also just break free from. So it was also like the parts where you broke completely free from was also wonderful. It's nice to have all these little like steps, and then you just, hey, come on now, jump. That's and fly. So I finally made a banner where you can get, this is basically where you can get Retold on my Bandcamp. And you can also get it, you probably do, if you have a merch table at Baden-Baden, you can probably get it at Baden-Baden too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can get it in person in Baden-Baden if you're around the Baden-Baden area tomorrow. What are you playing, by the way, tomorrow?
We have a really nice project. We were actually working together with composers and with school classes from high school ages. And it was sort of group compositions that the high schoolers did together, sort of with the direction or the guidance of some composers who are professional working composers. So that's been a great project. because we get to see sort of how young people, how they want to present something on a large stage, like in Baden-Baden. This is the Festspielhaus, which has huge classical or opera programs, and now they get that chance to also present
that
their
sounds
ideas.
beautiful.
Which, yeah, it's been a great process working with them, and we're really excited for tomorrow.
Cool. And that's the premiere tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There will be 4 different schools that were participating. Yeah, so a large variety of music. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I'm just going through the chat. Okay, here we've got something. Sometimes with your explorations, cool stuff just appears and, as you said, unfolds almost on its own. Heinbach, did you incorporate any of these discoveries? Did it make it hard for violin players? Okay, so the first part is, I think, for me, and so not so much in this, only in the way maybe the original music came together, the original, basically like what's on the tape loops. So that DNA of the experiment of patching things into each other is there, but not in. I didn't create feedback patches with the with the ensemble in a way, because they've fed back among each other. So, and with me, like in the normal way in the normal way that people play together, by exchanging ideas, playing and listening. And that's one thing that was wonderful, how well everybody listened. Everybody would listen and find their space, and nobody would play just to fill a space, which is what you get when people who are not used to improvising or not used to listening play together. Everybody just turns their amp up to 11 and then, okay, fill it up. So that's definitely one of the best things of working with musicians that listen. So about the play, and did it make it hard for violin players? That's the whole thing.
I think you said it perfectly already. I mean, that it's that part of that listening process, right? And yeah, I think at first, when you don't know exactly where you're going with the music, sort of you do want to just fill the space with music. But then what emerges from sort of working on those ideas and discussing and sort of not fighting with each other, but sort of fighting for your idea of what you think this portion of the music should sound like. What emerges from that are duos, or maybe a solo, or moments where you want to provide sort of support for somebody who has a statement to make in their music. So I think the difficult part of that is knowing when you can step back and say, okay, maybe I'm not as important at this moment. And then also knowing when to do the opposite and say, okay, I think this is something I want to present more.
From a meta perspective right now, while you were saying something, the music starts to become this inspirational, like da, 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 and then you're like, everything you said became like extra authoritative because of the way the inspirational music like off. So that was like a short meta moment for me, where it's like interesting.
I think that's what makes improvisation actually difficult. It's just that interplay, and instead of just going, it's like finding that flow, and then
exactly finding the flow, trusting each other, and then going to and finding the slots where you fit in, and then also allowing not playing and just sitting and listening. Like that's one of the hardest parts. So just like, no, I'm not gonna do anything. It's fine. Others are playing. It's good. Maybe if I hear something, but yeah. So, yes. Cheers, Paul. Paul was at the time the manager who brought the whole project together, and he's sitting with Anya, who played wind instruments on this record. So, cheers. I actually say like wind instruments because there were some very strange instruments also that people picked up on, like
the Schlauch.
Like,
how do you say that? Like the
Schlauch tubes.
I love this
moment.
Like tubes. Yeah, that's one of my favorite moments.
Yeah, it was amazing. And people, like, there was one person who watched the who watched the video and they were like, I can't get over what they're playing there. What are these tubes? What is that? What kind of instrument is it? Where can I buy it? But it's tubing, right? It was tubing.
Yeah, from the hardware store, I think. Yeah.
From the I think, yeah, and also much of the percussion stuff that Christian was from the hardware store. I really love that. I really love that whole like hardware store instruments.
Or the car parts.
So like car parts.
Yeah, he's got some car
the
parts.
spring.
The spring, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, making the unmusical music. That's beautiful. Oh, yeah, this one comes in nicely. So I have to say the CD has much more dynamic range than the cassette. Like cassette, everything is more pushed together, and here it's much more open. I like both. Both are different aesthetics, but in terms of like how it sounded here from the mixing board, of course the CD is more like that. Interesting. Really good to listen to CD actually. Like how see-through it is, even from this very cheap. I paid like $30 secondhand for this, so I don't know how much it cost back when it was made, but probably not that much. But that's nice. Yeah, that's Parallels. Is it? No, that's not Parallels.
No, this is later.
That's We Found Serenity. So We Found Serenity, yeah. Exactly.
But I think we had a different we had different working titles for all of these, actually.
Yes, like one thing was called Whoop.
I think
because there was on the tape loop. Yeah, this one, because on the tape there's a zoop. Exactly. That was, but I thought like we can't, like for the record, like this has to have more poetic names instead of Whoop. And that was simply because I didn't name the tape loops correctly. So I just put them in order, but I didn't name them. I needed to go back through my discography to figure out like what was the original track that actually was this. And this is like archive work that I personally really don't like to do. So, but just as Whoop, I wouldn't have wanted to release this as W-U-P. Yeah. Whoop. Yeah. That's Whoop. Wonderful.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah, there it was. I bought 2 of your tapes last week, Retold, and the one who runs away is the ghost. And they've made it 3 years customs. What? And they've made it to the customs already. That's beautiful. Yeah, there's other tapes from me. Like if you can't find this right now on Bandcamp because it's sold out, the beautiful cassette here, then you can get some of my other tapes. There's still some editions available on the Heinbach Bandcamp, which you can see scrolling down here. No, down here. I need to make the proper like here, way down here, and yeah, I think the CDs are gone now. So, but it's good to see that at least, even though it's probably expensive, it's still, I don't know, expensive, but still fast. That's good to hear. Yeah. And Jogging Horse says, of course, there's always digital, and the album is available as digital, and will go on streaming in a week. Boris, correct me. I don't know if it goes when that, or does it go this week? I don't know, but there's always a delay between the Bandcamp release and the Spotify release and everything, because Bandcamp still prevalent and still the best place to put out music independently. So, shoot your questions if you have them. We got Adam here.
Here's the
violin player. Oh, there's one. Oh, you froze.
The
Schlauch.
The Schlauch.
Yeah, that's the Schlauch. Yeah. Okay, I'll up it so you can hear the Schlauch.
It comes back later too.
Just that little harmonica at the end.
Nice.
That's a lot of details. I remember mixing this with Lucas. It was so fun to listen to all the details. And we didn't have to change that much because your rehearsal space actually sounds pretty nice. So.
And Lucas has great ears, so yeah.
Exactly. He put everything
Yeah.
in a nice spot. All the mics were perfectly placed. I'm scared of phase issues when I'm working with many players, and so there were none. So, or none that, yeah, nothing bad. It's so see-through, and sometimes you can hear. I think much of this was taken from the public rehearsal, where there was a few people present. So there's like 12 other people in the room. And sometimes you can hear them. I think maybe not. Sometimes there were one or two parts where we had to cut because there was like a glass falling over or something, if I remember correctly. But they kept admirably quiet. With music that wants space, how did you decide when to end the piece? Always resolve, suspend, no rules? So for this record, I would say always, because this comes from a live performance, it always depends on what the next piece is and how we want to go to the other. Sometimes it would be a cut, sometimes it would be a mixing, and oftentimes it was also determined by the sheer instruments that we played, like with the tape loop, I just started hard sometimes, so and then it starts, and then we play, and that's a cut. Sometimes it's nice to have things fade into each other, and the textures mix even harmonically, and that creates something. But we had that very well planned, so we're very, very, very distinct, very sure about how one piece would go into the other, because it's easy with these things to go into like with like a strange cross fade. So that we didn't, luckily. And so we really worked on that. And when it came to the record, that made it easy because we could basically use the decisions that we had made during the live performance and end the piece in a way that made sense. So for the record, oftentimes we left longer fades, so you can hear things evolving, like that little harmonica before. There's like there was a whole different part that didn't end up on the album as such, but that makes it interesting. Like a fade out where something is happening is one of the best in terms of one of the best endings because it really never ends, but it creates a natural ending, and that. So it's a very, how you say, so for this particular record, it depends very much on the live performance. So it's different to like, how you say, a normal record because you already have the next track in mind.
Yeah, in some way, I remember we sort of structurally thought about what are mostly the tracks here on the album, sort of as individual pieces or parts of the whole live concert. But I also, even in my notes, had written down all these transition points that in a way were their own actual sort of mini
pieces.
Pieces.
Exactly.
Yeah. And sometimes they were expanded, sometimes they were short. And like in the live experience, that always changes, right, a bit. So
exactly,
based on what's happening, how you react. And we had some moments also on stage where something didn't go quite as planned, and then these moments sort of evolved. But yeah, it's nice to listen back through the record, also with the different order, and then to like remember, how did this come in the live, and how does it just sounds, it's a different experience. Probably.
Yeah, if you're on my Patreon, by the way, you can watch the live performance, so in full. So, and you can hear how it all happened. I think I made one edit to the live performance, if I'm not sure, because there was one part where I put on the wrong tape loop by accident. And I don't know if I cut that or if I left that in, but yeah. So I have to remember that. But
that was one of those moments, though.
Exactly.
Where,
I was thinking when you said sometimes things don't happen as they are supposed to. I was like guilty because
oh, but it
I have to
happens to
say
all of us. I think we.
I was never as nervous than when I played with you guys because for two reasons. When I'm alone, like I'm pretty chill because I know how to do things. Da 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 da. But then I was with you guys backstage, so, and then I think was it Christian that said, yeah. Miles Davis sat here in the backstage at Jazz House and stuff like that. And then you all guys were also like hyping up. And it's like, oh God, everybody, there was so much energy. It was like with the band again. Everybody was like hyping themselves up. I was like, okay, wow. So I went on stage and then I had to play the last piece, A New Life Takes Hold. And was like shaking, which is good. It adds expression. It's a natural vibrato on that instrument. But I was curious. So there's a question that I don't quite understand. Adam, do you Georgia? Violin and fiddle player?
Probably, I take it, Devil Went Down to Georgia. Sadly, not so much, or not as much as I would like to. I don't play much fiddle music, but a lot of respect.
What's fiddle music?
Well, at least, so I'm from the US, but at least there's a lot of different fiddle music traditions. Of course, not only in the US, but over there we have the song "Devil Went Down to Georgia," and I think that's
okay. Is it like this very fast?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
like you see in a western. Or that comes in a western. Okay.
Yeah,
is it like that?
It's
fiddle music. Okay.
It's got like it's sort of like there's a story about a face-off between the devil and the violinist or something like this, and then the violinist shreds. So it's great.
Oh, violin shreds. Okay.
But yeah, I haven't played so much fiddle music, so sadly not.
Okay, you have to recommend me like tracks to listen to for violin shred.
Yeah, there's some amazing fiddle players. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
cool.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Here's one question. Kalle Mustonen, is it spatial experience with headphones? This was not recorded binaurally, but of course it is very, like, I'm listening with headphones and it is very immersive. I used a lot of, absolutely, in the mixing, we used a massive spring reverb that physically resonates beautifully, for example, to create a sense of space and how we arranged the soundstage. But it's not binaural. It's a classic stereo mix. But not in the sense that you would do a broadcast mix. This is really like a mix for a record with big decisions being made on the fader board, which tracks on, which where, to make it colorful and to make the space where you played it bigger, which piano mic is on where. So that was lots of decisions. But of course, we only had 5 rehearsals for the whole thing, and the recordings were basically done not as dedicated, now we're gonna record. This is basically recordings that happened while we are playing, mostly from the dress rehearsal, I think. So, and that idea with the singing, that came from you guys, right?
I was just gonna say, I think that was maybe one of the most organic decisions, because it just sort of started happening in one rehearsal, and then we thought, should we keep that? Like, should we do that? And I think we like, yeah, we like that. Let's do it again. I think we really pushed. I think we really wanted you to whistle, because you did it once, and then we were like, you have to keep this in the show.
The whistling, yeah.
I
was so scared of that.
No, but it was really good, and yeah.
Like it was like it's good. Like, the best thing when you go on stage is to challenge yourself to do things that you don't normally do. So you have like, okay, this is the part where I whistle. So, which is for most people is one of the most natural things, but for me, like, so
on stage it's different too, you know.
I had to. I remember, like, okay, so 1 minute before I was like trying to whistle in my hand quietly to get to get the right tension, because it's so different. It's so different to whistle on stage. I don't know. Very experience. Thank you, Terry. Lovely. Sounds organic, but much thought went into it. It seems it did. is a lot of, so the thought of how Lucas put up the microphones in the first place, that we recorded all the time, and then of course how everyone played, and then, I mean, my electronics are also always coming through the loudspeakers, so they're always bleeding in on everything. There was no way of muting my electronics, for example. So, but that also gives them like a very integrated sound to everything. Ah, that's good. There's stuff. Oh. That's for me. This is a memory of my father, who used to. He whistled a lot. So when he was in a good mood, he would be like walking through our house and whistle. So that's why that whistling is both challenging for me technically to do on stage, but then also emotionally, because it's a memory of him. Oh. Okay, Andy Lauscher, how did you do the singing? Was it just improvised? You guys directed yourselves.
Yeah,
It started
it was,
improvisational, and then
yeah,
like you play strings, I think, and like you play your instruments, like you play. It started from the strings, right? You guys. That
perhaps,
was yeah.
yeah, because we were playing a lot of different harmony, and then at some point we started adding voices, our voices, and then I can't remember if we decided on
Yeah.
which pitches we would even choose in the end. It's possible. I think we had sort of a harmonic idea of where things are going, but
Yeah, I think it was. We had like again with 5 rehearsals, and like this idea comes up in rehearsal 3. So you have only like, okay, we're gonna do this, and
Right,
we're gonna
yeah.
make it.
Yeah.
That's like, okay, now we plan this, and I think that was also our score in the end was like the whiteboard, you know.
Yeah.
That was like there was a main score with like all the parts written out, like what happens, all the this is that, this is whoop, this is gestures, this is that. How here we go like this, here we change over like this. Then each of you had their own notes as their parts, basically.
Yeah, that's what's great for us is so we're used to mainly working with scores, written scores. Everyone has a different version of this in their notes or in their score. We had the sort of general one for everyone, but everyone we all wrote it down in different ways. In the end, the record of it on paper is very diverse, I suppose.
So, okay, one question. No effects on post-production. There are a bunch of effects, like spatial effects, like the big spring reverb, the Great British Spring, and but then not so much, almost no compression. EQ, probably, yeah, EQ was used. But what we did for the record was actually add one element that was missing, and that was bass oftentimes. So because we didn't have a dedicated bass player, much of the bass came either from me or from the percussion. And if if either Christian or me wasn't playing bass, there was no bass. And to make things sometimes sit better, like I played a bit of like Moog bass underneath, or sometimes just a sine generator, just to glue things together and give them like a bit more of a space, because I think a record should sound like a record. So, and this is what we did in post-production to make it sound more like a record and give it space. And there was oftentimes space for bass. Is the CD literally double-sided? No, I don't. But that's a joke question. So but it has a. No! Don't fall down. But it has a wonderful. Where's one? There's an open one. So here it has a printed. Can you see? Was it too shimmery? So this is how it looks. Whoop. Yeah, I don't have autofocus on this camera. That's not what they do. But here, yeah. It comes in a very handy Pappschuber. Yeah. Love it. It's such a different experience. Like, I'm used to playing tapes here, Adam. So I play tapes and I play vinyl. And there's always the sound of the medium, like the crackling, and they're always like constantly. And with the CD, there's suddenly complete silence. I'm like, oh, that's different. And much more separation to everything. I like it. It's good. It's a good. But it's funny how a CD in 2025 is a new experience in that regard. For me at least.
Yeah. That's why you asked about CD sales. I was like, we haven't sold CDs for a while because everyone's either listening streaming or digital or yeah. So
yeah, but streaming is getting worse, more expensive and everything.
Yep.
So
Bandcamp
and
great.
so and you don't own anything, and I think still it's like I used to before. I don't need to own anything. It all comes, and I actually threw away all my CDs, I think, or sold them off at the flea market for nothing. But I'm really regretting that because it's it's nice to have the thing that to have the record. And
yeah, it's its own.
Unless you're going big into piracy and downloading everything, but even then, like all the constant copying that you have to do to keep stuff up to date everywhere, I don't know. So I'm happy with like having a physical thing of a record, be it a tape, CD, or vinyl, is something that I really treasure. And it's also a good experience.
I think it's a different listening experience too.
It has side A and B on the index. Boris! Boris, did you... I think, like, why? Oh no, I'm so used to it, and I'm guessing Boris too, that we had side A and side B on the...
Oh, but I like that. It's to me, it's very intentional, we have the split.
Yeah, but it's like, I think that's a remnant from doing tapes. Oh yeah, he's surprised too. And I didn't check it. Oh my god. Oh, that happens when you... God. Thanks for pointing that out. Like, that's what you call in Germany as the word Betriebsblind. That's when you're just so used how you do things that you get blind to like that things that are different. And this is definitely a case of Betriebsblindheit, because we're so used to either vinyl or cassette that the CD has two sides. Funny. That's funny. Oh my god, this is a good story in the end. That was perfect. It separates the move. It's an artifact. Classic collectible. Yeah. Oh my god. This is... that's funny. You noticed, Adam, of course. You noticed.
Yeah, I did notice it when we got the CD, and I said, okay, cool. We have... I don't know. It wasn't like... it just made sense.
Yeah, but actually, like, it makes sense because the whole record is arranged in two sides. It's arranged with side A and side B in mind, because that's how I've been arranging records for, I don't know, like 10 years now. Always for cassette and always for vinyl. So you have to have your sides, and you have to know the limits where you can put parts. If you're doing vinyl, you have to put the louder songs at the beginnings of the record and the quieter ones in the middle. And I like the experience of having, like, as I said before, like a happier side on side A and a darker side on side B. So it's all arranged with that in mind. And so that's built through. Still, I can't take it. This is going to be really good. Funny. Wonderful. So we are almost at the end, I think, right? So we're with Arguing with Ghosts. That's the second to last track.
Yes.
So if you get any more questions, shoot them. Else, get the now rare collectible CD. I think there's none left. Maybe there's one on the Bandcamp. But else, beautiful. Okay. And shoot your questions, because after this, we're gonna quit this live stream. It's been going on for a while now. Oh, Gata got bought the last CD. Wonderful. Yeah, you earned it. And if you ever see a live show, hit me up and take it with. If you ever see one of my live shows or one of the ensembles, hit us up, and you'll get a special note assigned to it. I love this piece. That was it's called Arguing with Ghosts here, and the winds are going wild with
Hmm.
the sounds they're doing. I really enjoy that.
Very
But here,
foresty.
yeah,
Yeah.
there was a whole nother part that we cut out from the record. Like there was more like kind of Games of Thrones with like,
Oh
bah,
yeah.
bah, 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 bah. But it didn't fit the record, so we cut that out. But this part was so beautiful because like they're imitating birds and the fluttering away. It's very, how you say, a very very, you can get pictures in your mind. Yeah, and that's me just on the quadrux. That's the last track.
This was in the middle of the live show, right? Somewhere sort of
I think it was the
2/3.
wasn't it the beginning? Wasn't this
Yeah,
part the
yeah,
begin? Or was it in the middle?
I thought it was in the
I
middle.
don't remember.
Yeah.
I actually don't. I need to like. We've got video evidence, even though I thought, didn't I? I
Oh,
think
was
that
this?
wasn't.
You mean the opening?
It was the opening.
I
Yeah, I
was
think that
thinking
was the
this was part
opening.
of your solo, your duo with Christian. That sort of.
No. With the duo, that
That
was
was
a
different.
different.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
started similar because I didn't change the tuning, but
Hmm.
yeah, that was a challenge, okay, guys. It put me through. Play a solo. I was like, what does that mean? Never played a solo like a solo. Don't come from a world like I,
Oh,
I
with the
grew up
solo.
doing grunge times and stuff. So solo, don't play a solo. No, that's where. Uh, we need all the lyrics printed in the CD booklet, you know. Okay, so that's Hey, look who's
Hi,
there.
Nick.
There's Nick. Hi, Nick. I think it's so cool that both you and the ensemble experiment with their respective instruments. Do you think there was an experimentation exchange between you two? I would say absolutely. I
I
mean,
think so too. Yeah.
I didn't know anyone. So that's, and I came with my weird ideas that I
Mm.
formulated basically, I think very close to the limit because I was suffering from acute writer's block before making this, before coming with this. So I was like, oh my God, how is this going to be? And then it turned out to be a wonderful experience. And we like it started from like choosing the percussion instruments. That was an experiment.
Hmm.
And then being with you guys in a room, that was an experiment in itself. And because it felt we had a very open space where everybody could bring in something that they enjoyed and liked. So that's what my perspective.
Yeah, and I think for us too, we, like I said earlier, we do a few projects with improvisation, but this was really, like you said, Adina, it was like an open space in a way. We all just shared ideas. Um, that gave us a lot of space to access like a really different side of how we play, how we develop sound, or maybe how we even interact with each other. So yeah, I think that was quite a unique opportunity for the ensemble as well. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And thanks, Nick, for tuning in. Nick's our current manager at Ensemble Recherche. So
Who actually lives very close here. So I don't know if is he with you in Baden-Baden or is
he's
he
coming
here?
tomorrow, so he
He's coming
probably
tomorrow.
is in.
So then
I think he's
he's
in Freiburg. Yeah.
yeah. Then he's in Freiburg or is he in Berlin right now? Huh. Because if he's in Berlin, like he's right, he's like 200 meters from me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Cool. So hi, that's movie board. Would you consider making digital version available without EQ? I don't think no. I don't know what that would do because all EQ we did was basically it's the same like changing microphone position. There's not so many drastic changes to instruments, so that's the same effect. And then there were some maybe piercing sounds that needed a bit of subduing. So it's all I would say it's more no, but there's not so much creative EQing going on. There's more corrective EQing going on, and that makes the whole record sound better. So a nude version with just raw stems is not planned because that wouldn't fit my vision also of how a record is supposed to be and sound. How did you imitate the sounds of birds flying away with the viola? Was it the viola?
I think that part was mostly the winds. That would be
That was the
flute,
winds, yeah. That
oboe,
was the
and
winds.
clarinet.
Yeah.
If I think we probably did some maybe background fluttering sounds
Mm-hmm.
with our bows. You can do sort of a papery, airy sound if you
Does that have a name,
bow
the
it
papery
in
airy
there.
sound?
No, I would call it air sound. I don't know. If you
Okay,
sort of
okay.
tremolo along the string, but without much pressure, then you get a really fast,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
fluttery effect. So,
A
but
flutter effect.
I can't actually remember if that was a part of this specific moment or yeah,
I think, yeah, I think
but
it was
probably
mostly,
something
in
that
my
we would
memory, it's
accentuate
mostly
during
the
the
winds that did that. So, okay. So, everybody, that's the end of the live stream. We've been going on for good 90 minutes and a bit more. I want to thank you all for tuning in, and Adam for coming by, and the whole ensemble for going on this journey with me, and to Paul for kicking it all off. And I hope we can do this again. This has been a wonderful, wonderful thing, and I'm so happy that Zyle put this out. So, and is also on the experiment of putting out a CD. And yeah, it's a one. Zyle is a wonderful home for my music for quite some time, and I'm happy that that Boris decided to go with this release too. You can get CDs and tapes. I think now only on our respective live shows for now, and digital is available on Bandcamp. I think the link is running through there like it was news. It is news. Come on, it's just a week, so it's still new, still news. So, and you can goes to streaming soon, but yeah, get on a Bandcamp. Still the best way to support independent musician. I should get paid for it every time I say that, but I don't. I just like the place. Thanks everybody, and have a
Take
good
care, everyone.
night. Bye bye.